Stephen A. Smith, did the Cavs make the right moves?
Without question, they did. It was a great, great day for Kobe Altman. You didn't get a superstar to join them, but you got something better. You got a multitude of parts that helps this team. They became younger. They became better defensively. They became more athletic. And more importantly than that, everybody that they brought to the table is devoid of drama. Rodney Hood plays his role. He's a streaky shooter. He's also a lengthy defender. You got George Hill, who's experienced. He's savvy. Relatively quiet, by the way, just goes out there and does his job. And by the way, is one of the best three-point shooters in the game right now. You look at Larry Nance Jr., a young, athletic, front court player that can give you what he gives you. And then, of course, Jordan Clarkson, who doesn't need anybody to help him get a shot. He's capable of making a shot. There are no superstars amongst this bunch. You've got that in LeBron James. But what you have is a bunch of supplementary parts that elevates them because it gives them depth. It allows them to spell for him and others. And more importantly, they defend and they are devoid of drama. It's a bad day for Isaiah Thomas. We'll get into that for a little bit later on in the show. But you also ridded the Cavaliers of two things, Max, that is very, very important to point out here. A, when Kevin Love, all of that noise was going down about Kevin Love or whatever, Isaiah Thomas was one of the people that instigated it and spoke out against it when Kevin Love was going from the locker room. On top of all of that, he was complaining about his shots. He was complaining about the coaching. He was complaining about a few things according to folks there. And so you looked at Kobe Altman, or you heard Kobe Altman said the culture was a concern. That's one of the things that they're alluding to. The other thing that they're alluding to, and we can't say this enough because it's one of those situations, Max, and we'll get into this later on in the show. Dwayne Wade being gone is a huge deal. Mm-hmm. His relationship with LeBron, it's not that they did anything wrong to anybody. It's that they're so tight that the tight-knit relationship that LeBron James was supposedly cultivating with other guys, once Dwayne Wade came, that fell by the wayside, and that suffered, and it disjointed the team. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James didn't do anything intentionally, per se, but their relationship quelled or minimized all the other relationships that LeBron had built on the team, which also contributed to division. So the absence of Dwayne Wade, the absence of Isaiah Thomas, along with the addition of these players, I believe has elevated the Cleveland Cavaliers to being the clear favorites to coming out of the Eastern Conference now.
There is so much here. Let me start by saying I identified Wade as the problem when this all first started, right? When everything hit the fan, I thought, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, what does that relationship do? It isolates LeBron because that's going to be his ace, the guy he talks to. It will separate him from his teammates, whatever Wade's intentions. In fact, at the time, I believe I said the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Right.
But I want to start with what they got. Larry Nance Jr. is a guy who can finish at the rim. He will dive on the floor for loose balls. He is a willing defender and a guy who can run the floor. Jordan Clarkson is an overrated player. And he's the type of player who gets overrated because he can do a lot of things. He can get his own shot. He can shoot. He's built like a defender. But when you really look closely, like if you squint, you see a really good player. If you look closely, you see a useful player. I think Jordan Clarkson can be the third guard in a rotation on a good team because he can get his own shot. He can get you into your offense, and he can shoot well enough. Not as a starter. If you're going to give him 35 minutes, I don't think you're going to be a very good team. But as an all-purpose guard off the bench, that's a good pickup. Rodney Hood is good, and he should be getting better. He's a guy with good upside, and LeBron needs at least one other guy on the team who could take someone off the dribble. He's really not there yet, but he looks like he could get there.
He can shoot threes.
He can shoot threes, and he's also built like a defender, even though he's not a great defender, but he's built like. You think that Rodney Hood can be a good player going forward. He's 25 years old. And George Hill, Stephen A. reminds me of the kind of point guard that you'd used to want to pair Michael Jordan with, right? A big, strong defender, can defend two positions in the backcourt, shoot from the outside, and doesn't need the ball. He can play off ball. It's exactly the kind of guy LeBron could use in the backcourt, provided there's one other guy can score. Like, in an ideal world, Rodney Hood could take you off the dribble and do all those things at an elite level. He can't. It's not an ideal world. But that's what they get. They get youthful energy, guys who can run the floor and fit better. They're better fitting parts. What did they lose? This is addition by subtraction. It's a great deal for the Cavs this way. First, obviously, Isaiah Thomas didn't fit in. And what a fall from grace for Isaiah Thomas in terms of public perception. You think about where he was when he wrote that Players Tribune piece, which was unbelievable. The passing of his sister, the fact that he played like maybe the greatest pound-for-pound athlete in the history of American team sports, a 5'7" guy in the NBA that selects out for height as a top 5 MVP candidate. It was insane. He played with so much heart. They embraced him in Boston. He led a playoff run. And now to this, where it turns out no one in Cleveland wanted him there, apparently, and he gets moved. I mean, they got rid of him as soon as they could. At the trade deadline, they unloaded his salary, and now his agent's tweeting about, he must start it. Just look, I think the biggest addition by subtraction, Stephen A., Dwayne Wade. It's not just that Derrick Rose and Wade and all these guys are misfit parts and older guys and not athletic anymore and all this. You can't isolate LeBron right now. LeBron's genius has always been his ability to uplift those around him and bring them along with him. And if Wade is isolating him, it doesn't matter what the intentions are, and LeBron's not able to be the teammate he needs to be, that's a killer for the Cavs. They had to get rid of Wade.